So today let's talk about very depressive subject, depression. Let's talk again about it because it sounds like we really need to. And the reason why, because no matter how much effort one puts into helping the loved ones to turn around the emotional state, it comes down to one thing. Does person think they're depressed or not? Do they think they have clinical dysfunction or otherwise dysfunction? Something that is not normal or not? How much we buy into the story of our illness determine to the big degree the recovery process. And it's not so okay, so here's what I have to state. Depression as a disease, as an illness, does not exist. Interestingly enough, there will be a lot of people who will argue that, oh, obviously the industry will, which is completely separate conversation. There are, there's medicine to be produced and sold, so that's a separate conversation. We invent diseases as we go. Especially here in the Western society, we have so many diseases that we invented that we got lost among all of them. That's a separate conversation. Industry is a separate conversation. But let's talk about individual. If you were diagnosed with depression and you identify with the disease strongly, if I tell you you're not depressed, you don't have depression, some people argue the subject. They will argue that they do have it. Interestingly, wouldn't it be better to believe you don't have it, or is it better to believe that you do? Just the baseline. Which belief we are choosing, because both of it is belief. All you know, if you believe that you're depressed or you believe that your loved one is depressed, all you know that you see the symptoms that you recognize from media under the illness is called depression. That's all you know. You don't know anything else. All you know that that's how you diagnosed it. But what it is really, it's a human life reveals itself in reaction to particular inner processes, external events and inner processes. And none of it is wrong. It's actually very good, very healthy to experience variety of emotions, from joy and happiness to sadness and anger and grief. It's all equally okay to experience it. Yet, what we did, we put in the box certain negative, as we look at the negative emotions, and call them a disease. Well, but we don't call disease the happiness, the joy, and the state of love and connectivity, do we? We don't have that disease. We don't call it so. But yet, we took part of life and call it that's disease, and we call it depression. Now, everybody who under the disease given a pill, and now they believe only more strongly that they are not okay. That only reinforce the feeling of sadness and shame and guilt and so on and so forth. So we only reinforce the sense of I'm not okay, I'm ill, I'm dysfunctional, and so on and so forth. Let's look a little bit, let's take it slow and look into depression as a human condition that pops once in a while in every individual. The question is only, for how long does it stick? Because we all have sadness, we all have anger, we all have guilt, we all have shame at different point of our life, in different times. And as we grieve, if there is some loss and we are grieving, the process of grieving can take time. But we rush it, we feel it is not okay to grieve, it's not okay to experience that. We rush it and we try to heal it, to cure it, to get rid of it. Even if we do so, it doesn't mean that that's disease. The reason why I know that it's not disease, because I meet people every day, and it's very easy to talk a person out of the disease, out of depression. If that would be actual disease, that probably wouldn't be that easy, would it be? If you don't believe me, I bet. Let's have an experiment. You know someone, one of your loved ones, someone you care about, who was diagnosed with depression. Send them my way. I'll spend with them an hour for free, no charge. And even if they don't completely recover from so-called depression, they will understand the nature of their state to the degree that it gives them space in which they start to go towards the positive emotions again. Because in life, everything is like this, up and down. Yes, hills and valleys. The problem that someone got stuck in the valley for too long, and belief system of disease reinforce it quite a bit. Because we keep being what we perceive ourselves to be. We keep dragging the self-concept with us through life. Change the self-concept and the state changes. Yes? I'm taking a pause because I almost feel how some people want to argue. No, it exists, it's disease. Well, if you argue, that's what I suggest. Send your people my way. Let's my people talk to your people, right? So let's keep looking into this. What the state of depression, let's call it not disease, but the state. So it's prolonged period of time when person feels down. Okay, that's just, let's say. What does it really mean? Let's together just look into that. Try to remember either observed state, if it's someone who you know experiences it, or if you experience at any point of your life. Try to remember, what is it if you're feeling so down? What does it really is? What is it really? Yeah? Part of it, we are disillusioned with a promise. We were promised by society that we will earn some state, emotional state. We will earn some blissful state, some happiness. If we do that. Honey, if you go to school and make all your A's happen, not B's, because you must be the best of the best, and then some, if you just do that, if you just make $10 million this year, if you just get the hottest girl, if you just something, so if you earn, you will get great outcome. Some disillusionment is due to the fact that we don't get the outcome. Some disillusionment because we do get the outcome and it's not so sweet. Worked so hard, sacrificed so much. That's not just sweet as much as I thought it would be, huh? Well, that's disillusionment. And there is a loss of illusion, and therefore there is a grief. Natural, absolutely natural. Natural reaction to a loss. There is a grief. Grief is not abnormality. It's absolutely natural, healthy reaction to a loss. Okay? What else? Energetic state. Sometimes the body does not produce, let's put it that way. It's not exactly production of energy, but let's use that word. There is not enough energy in the body to experience life, to go through experiences, activities, and so on and so forth. Then the mind creates a structure. I am missing out on great life. That's not true. The life is right there and it's quite great as long as the voice stops talking, or we at least stop listening to that voice that say, I am missing out on all those great things that are happening right now in other people's life on Facebook. Right? If we stop that, voice, from convincing us at least. The voice can happen in just thoughts, one after another, one mental construct after another mental construct. But if we stop believing in this, if we stop subscribing to the voice that is not gentle, it's keep persisting with this nagging, your life is just not fun. You're just not living up to your expectations or expectation of your father, or you are not living your best. What the heck is your best? How do you know what your best is in the first place? How do you ever know what your best is? If your life looks like that right now, maybe just your best at this particular moment of your life, under these particular conditions of your life. If you want different experience, jump and go get it. If you can. If you're not incentivized enough, if you don't feel enough incentives, maybe you don't want it actually as much as you think you do. And there's no problem in not wanting. The problem arises when we think that there is a problem in not wanting, or a problem in not living what you pseudo want. So the reason why people are so depressed, because we bought into too many lies and we forgot our way out of it. We stopped being very honest with ourselves to check in and see, is that really even my thought in the first place? That if something is not okay in my life, how true is it in the first place? Why am I thinking that it's not okay? I'm right now experiencing sadness about something. Why is it not okay? I'm experiencing anger in reaction to something, some injustice, some unfairness. Why is it not okay? If you're healthy, experiencing healthy without harming others, why is it not okay? If you experience shame for a moment, you did something, you know it's wrong. You harmed someone, you offended someone for no good reason, and so on and so forth. You made something happen that is truly unfair. And you feel ashamed for a moment. Why is it not okay? That's an opportunity to learn, to revise our interaction with the world, our representation of this self, of our being in this world. So why is it not okay? Depression is always associated with a lot of voices, like a choir, singing, I'm not okay, my life is not okay, my environment is not okay, everything I know is not okay, everything I do is not okay, nobody loves me. La 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 la. None of it is true. It's only not okay if you decided that it's so. Then the question is, why did you decide? It's arbitrary. Why did you make a decision to suffer? Why your loved one is suffering right now, when you can be there for them, for him, for her, and let them know it's okay. If it hurts for a moment, it's okay to hurt, and then it will stop hurting. And then the next day when it stops hurting. More you make them ill and feel that they don't have a right to experience what they experience, that they need a doctor for that, more they feel they're not okay. If you provide a safe environment for them to grieve what they lost, whatever the loss is, a hamster, a youth, loved one, whatever it is, there is some loss. Maybe loss of perceived time, maybe loss of perceived opportunity. It's okay to grieve. But of course, the trick is, did it become a habit? Very often, what we call depression is a habit of choices to suffer. We recreate our experience of suffering by keep making the choice to be stuck in this state of suffering, so someone will pay. Very often this is the reason. So someone will pay. I will suffer so she, mother or father or someone else, a loved one lost X. Then they will know. I will make them pay. because they will suffer along with me. That's very often common decision. I will suffer, I'll pay, and they will pay. Or suffering to punish yourself. I did something wrong as I feel at that moment of my time, and I wish I didn't. I deserve to suffer. That's a very, very, in my work, I see it to be such a common thread, unfortunately. We punish ourselves so badly for something we haven't done up to our sense of morality, integrity, or so on and so forth. Okay, I need to change my position. My feet hurt, sorry. That was a bad position. I need to change it. Oh, yeah. Bear with me, people. Oh my goodness. See, I have that messy paint I made there. And it's a sad woman says, who am I? Okay, now I think I'm more comfortable. Oh. So, if you feel that you are depressed at any given moment of time, and you feel that it's not okay, my invitation is ask yourself, why is it not okay? Why is it not okay? What make it so? Who said? Who said it's not okay? Who said you have no right to experience grief, anger, sadness, guilt, shame? What did I forget? Out of all the combination of emotions. Some people say, I just don't want anything. I don't know what my purpose is, my meaning of my life. Well, there's no meaning, there's no purpose. Deal with that. Stop looking, there is none. Life is happening and it's wonderful. Just stop at that. There is nothing to find. There is no great purpose for your life, no great meaning, no more purpose or meaning than any other life. Life is the purpose of itself, of its own. Life is its own purpose, and it's flowing through you. It's giving you opportunity to experience this life in this human body. Wow, what a grand experience. You might not feel grand. I understand that. It might not feel grand right now, but this is how grand looks like in the moment. Not so grand. That's your grand today. I know it sounds funny, but it's just like that. So simple. Life takes a lot of forms. And whatever form it takes right now in your life, that's okay. As long as you stop condemning it, denying it, pushing it away. Forget your preferences for a moment. I prefer joy and happiness and love to anger, sadnesses, and guilt and shame. I understand you do. But how smart is it? It's like saying, I prefer morning, but not evening. I want only mornings in my life. Well, wake up. It's not going to happen. You can want whatever the heck you want, but it's not going to happen. The life takes turns, and there's certain things occur, and they have certain order. And so life goes, human life, peaks and valleys. You know that you cannot get that without that. So stop living in your delusion. You say, but I want that, but I want that. Okay, and where does it take you besides the choice that you are making to be dissatisfied? Because you lied to yourself. You came up with the lie, and you feel dissatisfied because of this lie. How is it serving you? Happiness is a choice. Similar to depression is a choice. It might not look like that. It might look like, I never made a choice to be depressed. No, you did. And you keep doing it. If you are depressed, it's because you choose to. It might sound cruel, but if you look deeply and honestly in it, you will see every time you've made choice to give up, to give up on effort living. Well, life does not need your efforts. If you just stop that voice in your head, go and sit down next to the river, or look at the tree and sit for 15 minutes, for an hour, away from your computer that sends you all the seductions and all the ads, become better by that and another. Stop inflow of information that bombards you with reinforcing messages that you're not okay and your life is not okay and it's all not enough and someone is doing better. You don't know. You never know that. All you know that you came up with the idea that you are not okay, that your life is not okay. Your life is okay. In happiness and in sadness, it's okay. It doesn't mean that you cannot change the state. You can always change the state. As soon as I am bored with myself, and sometimes I'm going deep, as every human being, I'm going down, and I'm grieving something is lost, some little illusion lost, But I know when I wake up to the fact that I'm right now suffering internally, if I wake up to that and become conscious that I'm suffering right now, then I know I didn't make a choice to stop it and get out of the state. Because as soon as I do, I'm out. It truly must be a choice though. So if you have depression right now, because you keep choosing it every moment, every morning you wake up, and every morning during the day, you keep choosing being depressed, being perceived as depressed. Maybe you get more attention by that. Who knows? What's your reason? There are benefits. Every disease that we perceive that we have give us some benefits. The question is, if you're satisfied with those benefits, then there is no problem that you're depressed, right? You created your story, you created your fairy tale. It doesn't look good, but it's just how it looks. But if you truly want to get out of that state, if that's your truth, then all it is make a decision and get out. Choose other state. And yes, you might say, well, it's not that simple. No, it's that simple. It is that simple. And I can assure you, because I work with that every day. And I want to let you know it's that simple. You don't need anybody really. You can do it on your own. If you want help, reach out. I'll be happy to help you. But you can do it on your own. All you need to do is your decision. All you need to do is make that decision. That's all you need. Because then you can just open your eyes and look what's pleasing to it. What's pleasing to your eye, get out of the environment that make you feel like you're in prison. And for a moment, go in nature. Nature is so nurturing. It's the first psychiatrist that I will recommend you. Nature. It takes you out of your head for a moment. Go sit and look at that eagle, or beaver, or eager, or whatever you find. Did I say egret? I forgot how this bird called in English. I see it all at the river here we live. Just so beautiful, just today. Just amazing. All this nature, all the little critters. Go and encounter nature, encounter what's raw and real, instead of what's in your head. Because the mess in your head is just in your head. There is no reality to it. No reality whatsoever. And let go, allow yourself to let go of your imaginary disease. I know you identified with it if you have depression, if you're one of these people, or your loved one, whoever is identified with it, it's very hard to let it go. Because if I'm not depressed, that's all I know, then who am I? Well, they go and discover. Then go and discover. Now there is great opportunity to go and discover. Now there is something new, something fresh. Go and discover. You're not going to fail because there is nothing, there's no benchmarks really. Society tried to make you believe that there are benchmarks of good enough, and it's all BS. It's not true. You have to realize it within yourself. You have to stop eating what media feeds you with. You have to become intelligent. You have to grow out of lies that you've been told and you keep telling to yourself. Happiness is a choice, my darling. And you can make that choice anytime you want. If you feel you can't, reach out and I will help you. But you can't do it on your own if you choose to. Your children can do that if they get understanding that they are okay. They just need to understand their habits and change those habits. Habits of actions and doing, habits of thinking, habits of relating to the emotions. All that are habit. All these habits are just that. It's patterns of behavior that became comfortable in a way because we know them, we already played them through, so we keep playing them. And it becomes identity, it becomes a self-concept. That's why a lot of people, if you tell them, if you look at a person who has had illness for a long time, and you try to give them suggestion how to get rid of this illness, they will argue with you that that will not work, and that will not work, and that will not work, and that will not work. And you know why? Because they don't want to get rid of it. They're comfortable there. They get attention through that. They can bitch and complain a little bit, and they find comfort in it. So you don't need to cure and heal the people. They find comfort in it. So that's okay too. No problem. No problem. So the question is your depression, is it a problem for you or not? If it's not a problem, then there is not a problem. Then you don't suffer really, because you're enjoying your state, whatever it is, right? If you enjoy it, go fun. That's fine. Go have fun with it. But if you truly want to change it, make a decision to see life in between those thoughts. If you can find that space between the thinking head and the voices, find that space in between. There's such silence and such clarity that if you expand that little space between the thoughts into a longer period of time in between the thoughts, you suddenly become a witness to the habit of thinking that life is not okay, that you are not okay. And that's why I invite you to go and spend time with your body nature, because nature has this ability to facilitate that silence within you. It's like, we have expression, and the time stops. Time doesn't stop, the thinking stops. And that there is just this spaciousness. It's almost feels like some people say, I feel the spirit. I don't feel the spirit. You just stop feeling the voice. Because the spirit that you are is always there. It's not like it's just in nature. No, in nature you're present to your sense of self more, not to imaginary self as a self-concept that is usually not good enough, especially in comparison to others, imaginary others, because we all perceive through filters about ourselves, filters about others, right? But you receive the blessing of reality as is. You perceive reality as is when you're not thinking, busy thinking. Nature facilitates it wonderfully. So if you want to peel from your depression, that's my peel for you. Go spend an hour doing absolutely nothing in nature. Look at those birds flapping their wings, or the water running. Listen sound of the wind, or sound of the trees, the trees and the wind playing, dancing together. And it's magic, you'll feel that magic. And it will be a great reminder that it's all okay, that all your suffering is self-induced chain of thoughts. Nothing there. There is nothing tangible. So you can throw it out like if it would be a jacket that you outgrew. There is no great process needed, great transformation. Transformation can happen instantly. You wake up to the reality as it is outside of your habitual thinking patterns. Yes, you can change and shift the way you feel by kicking your system with endorphins and dopamine and so on and so forth. You can eat chocolate and cashews and go for the run and have sex. All that helps you out on the chemical level. But you can change your chemistry, body chemistry, purely by waking up. It's like that. Just now, wake up. Stop thinking for a moment, and just be present to the silence within you. Because there is no depression. There is no depression there. In the silence of you, there is no depression. There is spaciousness. And then there is joy arises in the spaciousness. And then you feel unlimited, unbounded. Wow. It feels wonderful. And more of this presence to who you are, you have in your life. Less imprisoned you feel. And less subjected to all the nonsense of the social agreements that don't serve you, that you didn't ever signed up for, but they are there. And they all have this tendency to dominate one's sense of freedom, but you don't have to subscribe to it. You can be free from it. If you stop believing that you have to comply, you have to earn something to be better, you have to gain and accomplish to be happier. None of it is true. None of it is. And then when the energetic level changes, because there is the shift, as soon as you stop the mind that is chaotically thinking all this negativity, then suddenly there's an energy within you freeze, and you start to become curious and innocent again, innocent like a child that sees everything first time. Wow, I passed this street so many times, but I haven't seen this flower. And I never encounter its fragrance, but it's magnificent. So what if you stop believing your depression? And what if you stop believing your loved one's depression and your neighbor's depression, and instead help them to smell that flower? Help them to get out of their mind for a moment and just be present to something beautiful. Something that reminds them who they are for a moment, but then another moment and another moment. And there you are, a happy human being. Because happiness, our natural state. Unhappiness is induced. Happiness is our natural state. Freedom, sense of inner freedom is our natural state. As a child, you're free, and then you become imprisoned. But you don't have to remain in your little prison that you created for yourself, or for your children, or for your loved ones. We all have a choice. We can love ourselves into freedom. We can love another into freedom. Yes? So, my darling, we can talk about it forever. And I can move the air and keep moving the air. And I always will, even if you want to argue and say, no, depression does exist. And it is a clinical condition and it's a disease. Well, you can believe in whatever you choose to, but just don't forget, this is the choice you're making. To be not okay. And to live life that is not good enough. Or you can unsubscribe from that and instead subscribe to my channel and reach out if you need help, or help yourself to be happy, because you have all rights and you deserve to be. If you live on this planet, I don't know, let's say a century, It's better to live a life that has more joy in it. A little bit more joy, a little bit more love for ourselves and towards others. Everybody around deserves it. So, find love and happiness within yourself and share it with others. And with that, I'm sharing my love with you, my darling. Much love, and I will see you soon again to talk about any subject you want. Just let me know. I produce videos when I can every day in response to sessions that I have with my clients, what they bring up, or if you have some suggestion you want to hear, reflection on some subject that is relevant to you, let me know. Okay. Much love, darling. Much love. Take care of yourself. Take a good care.